A very good morning to all of you and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. I see Shrikant Boda, old student of CCE. Please confirm. As usual, let us start with the snippets. Already we have lost 15 minutes. I'll try to make it brief. The very first one, 42nd day on fast. Supreme Court Committee meets former leader Dalewal. Here there is only one word you can focus on, the word fast. Fast, it is important from two angles, exam point of view. One, a common error when we use the word fast as an adverb. A lot of people say fastly, that's a common error. The train went fast, we cannot say fastly. That is one thing you have to recollect. And fast can be a noun, can be an adjective, can be a verb. He is on a fast. He is fasting. Fasting, not having food, a different meaning altogether. The next one here, world's biggest dam, Brahmaputra Dam won't hit water flow to India, China. All the words are easy, but it talks about a particular dam, the biggest dam, or the biggest dam going to be constructed in China. Based on that, China says it is not going to make an impact on India. Some sort of assurance. Buster journalist murder. Prime accused held from Hyderabad. Here we have a word accused. We have got many a time. Allegation, accusation, allege, accuse, and stop blaming someone. Then what do you say? Exonerate. All these words you have to recollect. Notes of discord. All our students know that when they see the word discord, they know two idioms, apple of discord, bone of contention. What do they mean? Cause of dispute. Rumblings in the ruling alliance. CPIM leaders' outburst reveals tensions in the ruling front in Tamil Nadu. It goes with Tamil Nadu state. There is a coalition government, there is an alliance, and one of the parties in the alliance, CPIM, the leader's outburst means showing a lot of anger. Reveals means disclose or divulge or make public. Tensions in the ruling front in Tamil Nadu. At the helm, an important idiom. What does it mean? At the top, controlling everything. At the helm means at the top. Smriti to lead India against Ireland. Perhaps she is the captain. Based on that, at the helm means the one who has the power and authority. These are the things to learn from the snippets. What is today's main headline? IED blast by suspected Maoist kills 9 in Bijapur. It is about a particular blast and suspected people, Maoist. And where did it happen? In Bijapur. How many people got killed? 9 people. US to take Indian entities out of restricted lists. There's one important word, entities. Entity could be anything, could be a person, could be a company, could be an animal, could be anything in nature. But we use the expression non-entity. Non-entity means what? A person without any importance. Imagine there's a group. It could be a firm, it could be anything for that matter. Imagine in a group there's a person who is not that important. For that person, we say he's a non-entity in the group. That we have to recollect. South Korea's Yoon avoids detention by deadline. We have got this word many a time. Detention is a noun form, detain, man of straw. Very good, Anant. There's one idiom, man of straw. Straw means two meanings. One, you use while having soft drinks. Other, dry grass. Dry grass is of no value. Based on that, man of straw. And detain is a verb form, detention is a noun form. That I have told many a time. We have a pic over here, contrasting white and black. White background, snow, and a black Labrador retriever after the storm. Capital watch, this is an important one. They have given many a time. Capital, Capital, that meaning is different. Here, TOL, capital, the official administrative building of the US. Capital watch, this building is known as Capital. Spelling is entirely different. It talks about onset of winter in the US. HMPV occurrence not new to India, no cause for alarm, Health Ministry. Now people in the limelight, which topic is in the limelight? A particular virus in China, it has come to India, about 5 or 6 cases have been reported. And based on that, the Health Ministry says, nothing to worry, it is not something new to India. Here we have Tamil Nadu Governor Ravi walks out of assembly, alleges insult to national anthem, constitution. There is always a row between Tamil Nadu government and Tamil Nadu governor. The latest one deals with playing the national anthem. Instead of that, it looks like Tamil Nadu Assembly played the state anthem. Based on that, the governor says it's a sort of insult to the national anthem and the constitution. Here we have the pick of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Trudeau quits as party chief to continue as PM for now. For now means for the time being. He had to quit as a party leader, but it is likely he is going to continue as a Prime Minister. For now means for the time being. That's all from the front page of the Hindu paper. Let us go to today's editorial. As usual, what is the enrichment? All these areas you're going to get enriched. And today we have very challenging questions. And let us start with today's editorial is a familiar topic. It is all about cricket. It is about India losing the Border Gavaskar Trophy. It's about that. A familiar turf, but some important words, important idioms are there to learn. Besides, the mock questions are quite challenging. What is the very first word here? Frailty. Frailty. Part of speech, noun. Weakness, especially in character or moral integrity. Physical weakness. In this context, it has nothing to do with moral or character. It goes more with physical weakness. Example, his frailty became evident when he failed to stand by his decision under pressure. This goes more with moral integrity or character. Under pressure, some people yield, they give in, and we use this particular word. Word forms, frailties. You got to be careful with spelling. Plural. Word combinations, physical frailty, human frailty, moral frailty. These are noun, all these are adjectives you have to remember. Word usage, often used to describe weakness in character or physical condition. Synonyms, weakness, fragility, vulnerability. Subtle differences are there. Fragile, from that we get fragility. And vulnerability, we use in different contexts. Antonyms, strength, robustness, resilience. We have got so many times those words. Plays second fiddle. As I said, today we have idioms as well. Have you heard of this any time? Play second fiddle to someone. If you take a movie, the main character is the hero. But sometimes you see a person next to the hero and it does not have an important role to play. We call that particular person second fiddle and we say he plays second fiddle to the hero. It takes the verb play, part of speech idiom, meaning to take a subordinate role or position to someone else. Hero, the person next to hero, second fiddle. Example sentence, she refused to play second fiddle to anyone in her career. It goes with workplace as well. He or she doesn't want to be the second fiddle at the workplace. They refuse to be the second fiddle. An important idiom. Word usage used metaphorically to imply inferiority or subordination. In a way, it means subordination. Synonyms, be subordinate, take a back seat. Antonyms, take the lead, dominate. Other expressions we cannot use because it is an idiomatic expression. Sojourn, an important word, and we have got a few times. Part of speech, it can be a noun, it can be a verb, meaning a temporary stay. Very simple. What does it mean? A temporary stay. Subordinate means not at the same level, lower level. Example sentence, during his sojourn in Paris, he visited numerous art galleries. He must have visited Paris for a short period. During that time, he visited a lot of museums and art galleries. Word forms: sojourns, plural form; sojourning, verb; sojourned, verb; past form. Past form. Word combinations: brief sojourn, sojourn abroad, extended sojourn. Temporary visit, you have to think. Here you have to recollect, some people travel around the world quite often. What is the word for those people? Globetrotter. Globetrotter means what? A person who travels around the world quite often. And when we travel, let's say we are traveling for about, we have a 5-day plan and we have a plan to visit different places. Travel plan, what is a word? An important word. Generally we say itinerary, but carefully look at the spelling. Itinerary. But how do you pronounce that? Itinerary means a travel plan. Word usage often used in the context of travel or temporary residence. Usually travel. Synonyms: stay, visit, stopover. Stopover, better expression. Antonyms: permanent residence, departure. Bailout. We all know the word bail, but bailout is a phrasal verb. It has a different meaning altogether. Part of speech, phrasal verb, meaning to rescue someone from difficulty, often financial trouble. Imagine someone is in financial trouble, we rescue that person, then that person may say, I have been bailed out by so and so person. Usually it goes with a financial dimension. Example sentence: the government decided to bail out the struggling company. Some companies are in trouble, then someone may bail out, or the government may bail out. Word usage frequently used in financial or rescue contexts. Synonyms: rescue, save, assist. Antonyms: abandon, neglect. You can also think of the word desert. Inaptitude. Inaptitude means what? Part of speech, noun. Lack of skill or ability. Example: his inaptitude in handling the situation worsened the problem. Because he did not have the skill or ability, it worsened the situation or the problem. Word forms: inept, adjective; ineptly, adverb. Generally we use the adjective form. Inept means not skilled. Word combinations: managerial ineptitude, display ineptitude, political ineptitude. Word usage often used to criticize someone's incompetence. Competence means what? Expertise. Core competency, core expertise. Incompetence, opposite word. Synonyms: incompetence, clumsiness, incapacity. Antonyms: skill, expertise, competence. Familiar words. Adept. Adept, core competency, that's right, Madhavi. Yes, Murli also. Adept. Adept means what? Very good. Maleshwari. Adept driver. Adept means skilled. Previous word negative, this is positive. Part of speech, adjective. Also noun, but usually used as an adjective. Highly skilled or proficient at something. Example: she is adept at solving complex mathematical problems. She is an adept driver. He is an adept driver. He is an adept cook, adept speaker. All these combinations can be used. Word forms: adeptly, adverb; adeptness, noun. Word combinations: adept at something, highly adept, adept learner. You guys can take that one. Adept learner. Word usage usually describes skill or expertise, obviously. Skilled, proficient, expert. Antonyms: inept, unskilled, novice. Novice means what? A beginner. That's also an important word. Novice, we also use the word tyro, Tyro. Let us go to the editorial. At the outset, overview. This editorial delve into means go deeply into, an important expression you have to learn and remember. This editorial delves into India's loss in the Border Gavaskar Trophy to Australia, marking the end of a decade-long dominance. Means for 10 years India dominated. That decade-long dominance has been lost because Australia won the series 3-1. It offers a comprehensive analysis of India's performance, highlights pivotal moments, and reflects on the transition in India's Test cricket team. Reflect means to think deeply again. That's all about the editorial. Easy to comprehend because we have many cricket lovers. And what is the tone of the editorial? Critical yet reflective. The editorial critiques India's shortcomings while recognizing the contributions of key players and the challenges of a transition phase. Analytical, it provides a detailed breakdown of the series, highlighting pivotal moments and areas of improvement. Obviously, when we win or lose, adapt, I've given many a time. Adapt means to get used to. Adopt, take someone's child and make yours legally. And adopt means skill. Analytical, critical yet reflective, and also analytical. How does it start? Down but not out. Australia is known as, generally we say down under. Based on that, perhaps the writer has used down. Indian cricket team down but not out. On the Border Gavaskar Trophy, what is the main idea of this editorial? India lost a close series. Means it looks like 3-1, a lot of difference, but they had chances to win. Based on that, the writer says close series to Australia because of its batting frailty. Batting, especially senior players, could not do well. That is the reason why India had to lose. Now today we have about 22 or 23 sentences, but all are short sentences, easy to comprehend. A decade-long dominance wound to a close at Sydney Cricket Ground on Sunday. There is an important word because it may mean, if you take this wind as a noun, and how do you pronounce this as a verb? Wind. Wind, wound, that is as a verb. But if you take this one again as a noun, what do you say? Wound. Wound, yes, that's a different meaning altogether. Wounded, very good, Pravalika, I appreciate that. All these subtle differences you have to know. Here, a decade-long dominance wound to a close at the Sydney Cricket Ground on Sunday. All sentences are easy to comprehend. The Border Gavaskar Trophy, the second biggest silverware in terms of stature, means a stand image after the Ashes in cricket. How many of you know about Ashes? This is a trophy like that, Ashes, between Australia and England. That is also considered very prestigious. The Border Gavaskar Trophy, the second biggest silverware in terms of stature after the Ashes in cricket. First, Ashes between Australia and England. Second, Border Gavaskar Trophy, second. And the biggest on the basis of viewership. When it comes to viewership, the biggest has been India's preserve since 2015. Has been. A lot of students, when they see been, they think passive voice. Need not be all the time. Here it is in present perfect active voice. She has been a student. He has been a professor. India has been in a dominant position. Here it is an active voice. Has been India's preserve. Something has been India's preserve. Means the stronghold, the foothold. Since 2015. Australia last won the title in the 2014-15 home series, and after that India claimed the trophy on 4 occasions. 4 times India won. This time they have lost. This winning streak ended once the 5th test concluded at Sydney, with Pat Cummins and his men winning by 6 wickets and seizing the series at 3-1. I'm sure for many of you this is all familiar, no need to explain as such. And this 10-year decade, a decade winning streak. Winning streak means when you keep on winning or keep on losing. We use the word streak. Something happens continuously. Winning streak, almost a decade, came to an end because India lost when India lost the fifth test at Sydney, with Pat Cummins and his men winning by 6 wickets the fifth test and seizing the series 3-1. Yes, the margin could hint at a vast gap in ability between the two squads. At the outset, when you see 3-1, it looks like there's a vast gap in the abilities, but it is not so, according to the editorial. But it was anything but that. It was anything but that. Means that is not the gap. It looks like that. There is no vast gap. And India had its moments and could have finished on the victor's podium. What does it mean? India had chances, but it could have won. This pattern goes with to express past possibility. Means what? There was a possibility for something to happen but did not happen. Then we say India could have won the match. Imagine Indian team was strong. There was a possibility for the Indian team to win the match. Then what do we say? India could have won the match. Here, India could have finished on the victor's podium and India had its moments. Perhaps they could not encash. Then what do we say? They could not encash the moments. This was a series where the batters played second fiddle to excellent speedsters. Who played the second fiddle here? Batters played second fiddles to the speedsters, means fast bowlers. It is no surprise that when Jasprit Bumrah, the most dominant among them, got injured and could not bowl during the Australian second innings chase in the last test, the host prospered. Fifth test, India had a chance. Unfortunately, Bumrah got retired hurt, and because of that, things changed. The tables turned in favor of Australians. They won the match. The sentence talks about that. Here, the host means Australian team. Prospered. They won this match. Bumrah began the series as captain, a position he returned to once a regular skipper. The out-of-form Rohit Sharma opted out at the climax. Here, climax means what? The fifth test. First test, Bumrah was a captain. And the last test, Rohit Sharma did not play. Bumrah became the captain for the second time, but he had to lose. He had to. He lost the fifth test. Don't use V1, V2, V3 in my presence. I don't take that approach. I don't encourage my students to take that approach. That is not acceptable. And Bumrah, with 32 wickets, led the charts. All short sentences, easy sentences. Again, with a resilient bat, he even helped India avoid the follow-on at Brisbane's Gabba. He proved his mettle as a batter as well. Not only the fast bowler, but a crucial test, he batted well. A transition is upon. Now it talks about the transition. Some senior players could not do well. Based on that, it is time for change. A transition is upon the Indian Test unit, especially after failing to qualify for the ICC World Test Championship final. What is the impact of losing this Border Gavaskar series? India could not qualify to the World Cup final, ICC World Test Championship final. Having eased out Cheteshwar Pujara and Rahane and now dealing with R. Ashwin's retirement mid-series, the selectors and coach Gautam Gambhir need to look at the future of Virat Kohli, Rohit and Ravindra Jadeja. I think these players could not make an impact in the recently concluded test series. These players were India's core in tests, but a change is inevitable. Inevitable means what? Unavoidable, certain. Tours down under often force a flux. See, such a short sentence. Usually we don't come across very short sentences in editorials. But surprisingly, today's editorial, a lot of sentences are very short. Only a few words. Tours down under. What is down under? When we talk about Australia, we use a expression down under. Down under refers to Australia. Towards down under often force a flux. Flux means being dynamic, change. Influx means inflow, flux, dynamic state. You can also use the word volatile. Dilip Vengsarkar retired after the 1991-92 tour. Rahul Dravid and VVS Lakshman followed suit after their 2011-12 visit. To substantiate all these, in the current sojourn, means current trip, despite scoring a ton in the fastest test at Perth, Kohli's overall yield of 190 at 23.75 was poor. Kohli got a century, but what is it? Follow the path. Follow the suit means follow the path in this context. Kohli's overall yield of 190 at 23.75 was poor. Rohit's numbers are even worse. For a batsman like Kohli, to 23.75 average, not acceptable. When it comes to the opener and the captain, Rohit Sharma, it is worse. Bad, worse, worst. What is his average? As he scored 3, 6, 10, 3 and 9. Totally not at all acceptable. Yashasvi Jaiswal's runs, KL Rahul's initial consistency, newcomer Nitish Kumar Reddy's 100 at Melbourne, and the odd lower order resistance bailed out India, helped India, but that was not enough. That was not enough. Something else should have been there. India lost due to batting ineptitude, a frailty that affected Australia too. Indian batters did not do well, and the same case with Australian batters, but the middle order saved them. A frailty that affected Australia too, before its middle order found a second wind through Steve Smith, Travis Head, and Marnus Labuschagne. Coming to bowlers, besides in addition to Bumrah, no other bowler could make an impact. Mohammad Siraj toiled hard, means worked hard, but beyond him, Bumrah did not have much support from the bowling ranks. No support for him. How does the editorial end? This was a series on which Cummins threw 25 wickets and 159 runs, imposed his will. Impose means to force upon. Imposed his will, his power, you can say. India will need to find younger heroes, especially batters, who are adept at playing both spin and pace, at home and abroad, in test and limited overs. India needs young players who can face all formats and also they can play well. They should be able to play well at home and also abroad, both home and abroad. It ends on that particular note. Let us go to the question. We still have or it's over? Let us go to the questions. Read the first one, try to answer. Not exactly. Fragility, fragile goes more with situation, systems, and frailty goes at the individual level. Here, frailty has been used with batsmen. Combinations are different, contexts are different. Meaning may be the same, but English we use words based on the combinations, the context. That subtle difference one has to know. Explicit information based question. When was the last time Australia won the Border Gavaskar Trophy before 2024-25 series? When was it? B. 2014-15. Yes, you guys got it right. What is the next one here? Implicit information based question. What does the editorial suggest is the primary reason for India's loss in the series? Whom does the editorial blame or accuse? Absence of Chateshwar Pujara? No. Poor form of senior players and batting struggles. All because of poor form of senior players, especially Rohit and Virat Kohli. Easy to answer. Writer's view based question. What does the writer suggest about the transition in India's test team? The present situation demands or calls for transition. According to the writer, so what is the option? It is unnecessary? No. It is inevitable and a natural progression in cricket. It happens. You cannot expect the same players to perform well all the time. We come across a point where we have to say goodbye to the senior players. We have to encourage the young blood so that they can also show or prove their mettle. B is the answer. Summary based question. Which of the following best summarizes the editorial? It is not related to poor fielding. Yes. Editorial talks about the negative aspects. At the same time, it praises Indian team. Based on that, India's loss in the Border Gavaskar Trophy was due to a combination of batting failures, injuries, and a transitional phase despite competitive performances. That part is very important. Inference based question. What can be inferred about India's future in Test cricket based on the editorial? Here, inference, you have to look at the words, key words. Inference related to what? India's future in Test cricket. India needs to retain its current senior players? No. India's focus should shift entirely to limited overs cricket? No. India must build a younger core capable of adapting to various conditions. Various conditions, various formats also. Identify the part. Now we have questions based on error location. Try to get all correct. We have a few challenging questions. Error location. Identify the part of the sentence that contains an error. The Digital Personal Data Protection Act, which these draft rules seeks to enforce. Here, which these draft rules, this is a subject over here, then we cannot use add S or ES to the verb. Here, yes, which these draft rules seek to, not seeks to. No, B is the answer. Choose a word closest in meaning to deliberations as used in the passage. That is very important, as used in the passage. Deliberations means what? Arguments, discussions. Lengthy and deep discussions, we use the word deliberations. Misspelled word, identify the incorrectly spelled word. Digitization, here we can use S, we can use Z also. What is the answer? You got this word yesterday, so you should be able to answer. The second one is not correct. This is wrong. Here we have to use FICIARY, not CE. Fiduciary. We have to use CI. Word usage. Which of the following sentences uses the word stake correctly as per its context in the passage? Based on the passage, you have to read the instructions very carefully. Stake used based on the passage, which sentence it has been used properly, in which sentence. Editorial context does not talk about the farmer, does not talk about an individual, does not talk note all of the above. The stakeholders' interest in the policy was at stake. Answer is B. Stakeholders, the public and the organizations. Fillers, fill in the blanks with appropriate words. The draft rules are a long overdue step in of enforcing informational privacy, which is a right. What sort of right? Yesterday's editorial said it is a fundamental right. How many options with fundamental? The draft rules are a long overdue step in the direction of informational privacy, which is a fundamental right. Answer is A. Choose the best option to complete the sentence. the government must ensure that the consultation process is allowing industry associations and the general public to find footing we got. And based on that, we got the combination yesterday. What sort of footing? Equal footing. Only one option has equal. And yesterday's editorial talked about two things. One, the time factor. The other one, transparency. Based on that, the consultation process is transparent, allowing industry associations and the general public to find equal footing. Here you have a phrase and you have to check whether it is right or wrong. If it is wrong, you have to choose the appropriate option. It is regrettable that the government continues to cloak the rule-making process of a critical policy such as this in secrecy. Select the best replacement for the underlined part. Cloak the rule-making process. You got to be a little careful. Don't be hasty. Here, conceal the formulation of a critical policy, correct? Obscure the creation of, conceal, obscure, make vague, veil the drafting of. All the three can be used. So what is the answer? D is the answer. Very good. Pravalika has got it right. I think after that Murli also D. D is the answer. Naveen Kumar and Raja. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched and try to work on important words, important idioms, important patterns. That will help in the long run. Thank you very much.